Alright, let's dive into the story of Miles Turner, was shaping up to be the hottest free agent on the market this upcoming off-season. If you ask me, he absolutely should have been a Laker by now. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the Lakers might have had another championship run on their hands if they had gone through with that WILDLY for Miles Turner trade. Think about it for a second, that move could have changed everything for Los Angeles. Even if they still made some other trades after that, maybe acquiring Rui Hachimura or pulling off some version of the Utah Jazz trade, the Lakers would have entered this season with a much stronger foundation. Especially when facing tough opponents like the Denver Nuggets. I truly believe that with Turner in the mix, the Lakers would have had a real shot at winning that series. Now, fast forward to today, and picture this, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Miles Turner along the same team. That trio alone sounds like a powerhouse, right? Add WILDLY to the equation, and that front court starts to look pretty intimidating. With Turner in the lineup, the Lakers wouldn't even have needed to chase a center this offseason. It would have been a perfect fit. But here's where it gets interesting, there are already strong rumors swirling about the Lakers pursuing Miles Turner again. The idea is that they might try to get him through a sign-and trade deal since Turner is a free agent and the Indiana Pacers want to keep him. Indiana's goal is definitely to retain Turner, but there are two big factors at play. First, since Turner's a free agent, is not obligated to stay with the Pacers if he wants to leave. Second, the Pacers want to keep their depth intact, and depending on how much money Turner demands, they might be forced to let him walk. The tricky part is the contract size. Reports suggest Turner is eyeing something in the range of 25 to 30 million per year. If he leans closer to 30 million, Indiana might decide it's just too expensive to keep him without sacrificing their roster depth. They'd rather keep a balanced team and let Turner go, than fill the gap with a serviceable big man or even multiple bigs who can share minutes. That backup center role has been a problem for the Pacers for a while, and while Thomas Bryant flashes some talent, especially on offense, his defense has been questionable. Even during his time with the Lakers, Bryant showed some good moments, but defensive consistency has always been an issue. So, Indiana could very well go down the path of reshaping their roster around keeping their overall team depth intact, even if that means moving on from Turner. For the Lakers to land Miles Turner, a sign-and trade is almost mandatory. Even if Turner is willing to take a discount and settle for something around 18 to 20 million, the Lakers won't have enough cap space to sign him outright. Some people throw around the idea that LeBron could take a pay cut, but even if he were to play for free, which is obviously a huge stretch, the Lakers still wouldn't have enough room under the salary cap they are currently limited to roughly 16 million in cap space. So again, the only realistic path is a sign-and trade deal with Indiana. The good news is that because the Lakers have several expiring contracts, they have some flexibility to offer players that could interest the Pacers in return. There is even talk about Rui Hachimura fitting well into Indiana's plans. He can play multiple forward positions, which could be a big help for the Pacers if they are looking to rebuild their depth after losing Turner. But there is the catch, if Turner wants to leave, he'd have to want to come to the Lakers specifically. If it's open to several teams, the Lakers could face stiff competition. Still, Turner is an incredibly talented player, and I would love to see him in Los Angeles if the pieces fall into place. When we talk about fit, talk, it's important to note that Miles Turner isn't the perfect center for Luka Doncic's style of play. It made a lot more sense when the Lakers had Anthony Davis alongside LeBron because Davis brought that physicality and elite rebounding that pairs well with Luka's game. Turner has some questions surrounding his rebounding ability, which isn't elite, but with LeBron and Luka on the floor, that becomes less of a concern. How many teams have two players, like a guard and a forward, who can each grab around 8 rebounds a game? Not many. So, you don't necessarily need a center who dominates the boards. It would be nice if Turner were an above-average rebounder, but his real value comes on defense and his ability to stretch the floor with his shooting. Turner is a classic floor-spacing big man who can knock down the 15-footer and even the 3-point shot. Es an elite shot blocker and rim protector, which is huge for any team. Per that with LeBron, who loves having space to operate, clearing out the lane so he can drive and either finish at the rim or kick it out to shooters, Turner fits perfectly in that system. Historically, LeBron's teams have thrived with big men like Kevin Love or Chris Bosh playing center, because they opened up the floor and allowed LeBron to do his thing. On the other hand, Lucas thrives in traffic. He likes to navigate through defenders, collapse the defense, and then find an outlet pass to a dunk or a shooter. Turner isn't that traditional dunker-type center was always ready to finish alley-oops or rim runs of Lucas' passes. But even with that in mind, Turner's offensive skill set is so strong that it's hard to overlook what he brings to the table. And the Lakers could always sign a secondary center who fits that dunker role, someone like Jericho Sims or another serviceable big who can fill that specific spot. Offensively, Turner can get you around 20 points a night, which is huge for a center. He's still only 29 years old, he just turned 29 this past March, so he's got a few good years ahead of him. He can do a little bit of everything on the court, from knocking down threes to protecting the rim and blocking shots. Defensively, he's probably the closest player to Anthony Davis in terms of impact, even if he's not on Davis level overall. He's a legitimate rim protector who can ensure a defense and stretch the floor on offense, making him incredibly valuable for any team. The Lakers have been linked to Turner for years now, so it's not surprising to hear his name come up again. What's interesting is the team in Indiana is on the verge of possibly winning a crucial home game against the New York Knicks, which could put them up 3-1 in their playoff series. That means they're very likely headed to the NBA Finals, potentially facing off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. If Indiana wins the championship, Turner might be less likely to leave, but in sports, you never know. Sometimes winning a title opens doors for players to move on and seek new challenges, especially if they feel they can compete for more rings elsewhere. The Lakers, with LeBron and Luka leading the charge, could be that destination where Turner sees a real shot at winning another championship. They have the right mix of star power and depth to make a run. Of course, if the Lakers want Turner, they have to be ready for the salary cap implications. Signing Turner via sign and trade would push the Lakers up against the second apron hard cap, which limits their flexibility in making other moves. But I don't think that's a deal breaker. LeBron has shown a willingness to take pay cuts to improve the team, so I imagine he'd be open to doing whatever it takes to bring Turner in. To give some perspective on what Turner did this past season with Indiana, he played 72 games, averaging just over 30 minutes per game. He shot around 48% from the field and nearly 40% from three-point range on over 5 attempts per game, which is incredibly efficient for a big man. His free throw shooting hovered around 77%, making him a reliable option at the line. On average, he grabbed 6.5 rebounds per game, with about 1.5 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. He put up about 15.5 points per game, showing he can score consistently while contributing defensively. All in all, Turner's versatility and skill set make him one of the most coveted big men in the league, and if the Lakers can pull off a sign and trade, they'd be adding a piece that could elevate them to championship contenders once again. It's going to be fascinating to watch how this situation unfolds over the off-season and whether Turner ends up donning the purple and gold. Absolutely, let's continue exploring the fascinating scenario surrounding Miles Turner and the Lakers, and what this potential move could mean for both teams as well as the league. One of the most interesting aspects of this whole situation is how it reflects on the shifting priorities for both Indiana and Los Angeles. For the Pacers, the decision to keep or let go of Turner is not just about the player himself, but about the future direction of the franchise. They're at a crossroads where they can either double down on building around Turner as a foundational piece or decide to retool their roster to create a more balanced and flexible team. Turner, being a 29-year-old player with proven defensive impact and defensive versatility, is obviously valuable. But the financial implications of keeping him long-term could force the Pacers to sacrifice depth in other positions, which is a tough trade-off in today's NBA where depth often wins in the playoffs. From Indiana's perspective, if they're confident that they can compete at a high level without Turner by replacing him with multiple serviceable bigs, it could be a smart strategic move. They could create a more versatile, flexible roster that can adapt to different styles of play and withstand injuries better. Depth is often underrated, but it's crucial for surviving a grueling 82-game regular season and depth playoff runs. So, while Turner might be the more talented individual player, the Pacers might value a roster that don't rely so heavily on one-star center. That would open up opportunities for younger players or mid-level free agents to contribute meaningfully. It also frees up cap space and roster spots to address other needs, which could make the Pacers more competitive overall in a different way. On the Lakers' side, the allure of adding Myles Turner cannot be overstated. The Lakers have been desperately searching for a reliable, two-way center since Anthony Davis injuries started to mount. Having Turner would immediately solve a lot of their problems. It provides rim protection, elite shot blocking, and a floor-spacing offensive game that fits perfectly with the current NBA style. Pairing him with LeBron James, who excels when surrounded by shooters and rim protectors, would create a dynamic that could easily shift the balance of power in the Western Conference. Adding Luka Doncic to that mix would only elevate the offense even more, giving the Lakers a superstar trio capable of overwhelming almost any opponent. But beyond just the basketball fit, there is the question of team chemistry and roles. Turner's style meshes well with LeBron, as mentioned earlier, because LeBron knows a big who can stretch the floor and defend the paint without clogging up the lane. However, Turner's fit alongside Luka is a bit less straightforward. Luka likes to operate in tight spaces and create plays out of traffic, which often requires a big who can roll hard to the basket and finish lobs or aggressive cuts. Turner is more of a spot-up shooter and rim protector than a lob finisher. This means the Lakers would probably want to complement Turner with another big who specializes in that role, someone who can fill the dunk spot and catch alley-oops from Luka. It's a puzzle, but one that can be solved with a smart roster construction. Financially, the Lakers face some challenges in making this happen, but none that are insurmountable. The sign-and-trade mechanism gives them a pathway to acquire Turner without having the full cap space to sign him outright, which is crucial given the Lakers' limited salary cap flexibility. They will need to carefully juggle expiring contracts and possibly include players who are attractive to the Pacers in the trade. That's where players like Rui Hachimura come into the picture, as he offers positional versatility and could help Indiana maintain a solid rotation. This sort of three-team deal or creative negotiation is often how these big moves come together. The Lakers' front office will have to be nimble and strategic, balancing the desire to add a star like Turner while maintaining enough flexibility to continue improving the rest of the roster. Another factor to consider is how the potential hard cap triggered by the sign-and-trade would affect the Lakers' off-season plans. The vast luxury tax and hard cap rules can be complex, and hitting the second apron hard cap limits how many moves a team can make afterward. But with LeBron's willingness to take a pay cut, and the possibility that the Lakers prioritize winning a championship now over maintaining maximum cap flexibility, this might not be a huge hurdle. If Turner's acquisition means the difference between contending and just making the playoffs, the Lakers are likely to accept those restrictions. Looking at Turner's game on a deeper level, his defensive presence cannot be overstated. Is an elite shot blocker, one of the best in the league, capable of protecting the rim and intimidating opponents. This alone changes how opponents attack the basket when it's on the floor. Coupled with his ability to switch on to smaller players and defend multiple positions, Turner fits well in the modern NBA where versatility on defense is prized. His length, mobility, and timing make him a formidable defender and a deterrent in the paint. Offensively, Turner's development into a consistent three-point threat is a game-changer. Big men who can stretch the floor force opposing defenses to extend out, opening driving lanes for guards and forwards. This passing effect would be huge for a Lakers team featuring LeBron and Luka, both of whom are skilled at attacking the basket and creating opportunities for teammates. Turner can knock down open threes at a nearly 40% clip on significant volume, which means defenses can't leave him open. This ability to spread the floor paired with elite rim protection gives the Lakers a rare combination that many teams grab but few possess. Another important point is Turner's health and durability. Over the past few seasons, he has been relatively consistent in availability, playing over 70 games in the last 2 years. That's an encouraging sign, especially for a big man, as durability can be a major concern. Having a reliable center who can play heavy minutes reduces the Lakers' risk of needing to scramble for replacements in case of injury. The narrative surrounding Turner and the Lakers also taps into the larger story of how the Lakers are trying to build their championship window around LeBron and Luka. LeBron is in the twilight of his career, and Luka is still entering his prime, so this off-season could be critical in determining how competitive the Lakers will be for the next few years. Adding Turner might be the missing piece to push them over the edge, giving them the size, defense, and shooting to compete with the elite teams in the West and the league as a whole. In the bigger picture, this potential move highlights the evolving nature of the NBA where big men have transformed from traditional bruises to versatile players who can protect the rim and shoot from distance. Turner embodies that evolution, and teams that can successfully integrate players like him into their systems tend to have an edge. For the Lakers, it would be a chance to modernize their roster while maintaining the star power and experience that LeBron and Luka bring. Of course, there are still a lot of moving parts. Whether the Pacers ultimately want to keep Turner, what kind of contract he demands, and how the Lakers can piece together a sign-and-trade that works for both sides all remain to be seen. But the excitement around Turner's potential move to Los Angeles is justified, given how much it could elevate the team's defensive and offensive capabilities. As the off-season unfolds, fans and analysts alike will be watching closely. Will Turner stay loyal to Indiana if they make a deep playoff run or even win a championship? Or will he seek a fresh start with the Lakers, chasing a better chance at a title alongside LeBron and Luka? These questions make for one of the most intriguing storylines heading into the off-season. Regardless of the outcome, Miles Turner's name is going to be a big part of the conversation in NBA circles, and his potential fit with the Lakers could be one of the defining moves of this off-season. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. In what could be one of the most intriguing moves of the upcoming NBA offseason, rumors are beginning to swirl around the Los Angeles Lakers, reported interest in Boston Celtics center Luke Kornet. While no official confirmation has emerged from either franchise, sources close to the situation suggest that the Lakers' front office is closely monitoring Kornet as a potential addition to their roster, sparking considerable excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. The possibility of such a move has ignited passionate discussions across social media and sports talk shows, with many wondering how Kornet's unique skill set might complement the Lakers' current lineup. Known for his length, defensive presence, and surprisingly effective perimeter shooting for a big man, Kornet could provide valuable depth at the center position, a role the Lakers have been looking to solidify in recent seasons. Some insiders speculate that Kornet's ability to stretch the floor could help open up space for the team's superstars, particularly LeBron James and Anthony Davis, allowing for a more dynamic offensive scheme. The Lakers' rumored interest in Kornet may also signal a shift in their broader roster strategy. We stay recent focus on adding versatile, IQ role players who can contribute in multiple facets of the game. KORNET fits the mold of the modern NBA big man who can offer both rim protection and defensive flexibility. However, it remains unclear what kind of trade package or financial maneuvering would be necessary to bring the Celtics' big man to Los Angeles, especially considering Boston's own ambitions to contend for a championship. While some skeptics dismiss the rumors as mere off-season chatter, others see it as a sign that the Lakers are serious about making targeted moves to strengthen their squad for another title run. KORNET, who has carved out a niche role in Boston's rotation, could be intrigued by the opportunity for a larger role in Los Angeles, though no direct statements have been made by the player or his representatives. For now, the potential deal remains in the realm of speculation, but the buzz surrounding it is undeniably growing. Whether this rumor materializes into a blockbuster transaction or fades as just another off-season fantasy, one thing is certain: the NBA rumor mill is heating up, and the Lakers' reported interest in Luke KORNET has only added fuel to the fire. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.